Let's try this again. So, 2 of 3 videos. Now, this video has more importance to me than the other video because as the cheater is the right analogy as to what is going on and what is necessary for people to succeed. Now, what I want to talk about though with success is not success actually. I want to talk to you about how you need to find no. You don't need to do shit in the life coach world, in the business financial sector, where everybody's trying to show you how to make money and how they're successful on their marketing stuff and all this other thing, there's very few people out there that are giving you the ability to be yourself. There's a lot of people out there, and this is a societative driven bullshit of like the hive mind and everybody thinking that, oh, I'm just going to do it this way, the Tony Robbins cheerleader bullshit. Tony Robbins is successful, don't get me wrong. The cheerleader bullshit, though, has to go because, yes, there's highly effective things that you need to do to be successful. You need to have focus. You need to have all these different things. But let me ask you something. Again, with the point of limitation and how the cheater is the right code because the cheater overrides the limitation. The cheater is like, I want this, I'm getting this is happening. Everybody else is like excuses, 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 excuses. Now, what I'm going to tell you is how to get with the excuses because the excuses are legitimate. Only insofar as you don't realize why you made those excuses. You don't realize why you can constantly put yourself off instead of success. Now, there's a myriad number of reasons and issues and what have yous. We're not going to get into that. But what I am going to get into is literally, I want you to be a mess. Because if you live in denial, that you're not a mess, that you're not angry, that you don't treat people like shit, that you don't do this, if you think that you're somehow fucking perfect, and yet you've had interactions with people that are complete shit, but you blame them and you never take a responsibility for yourself, well, you're basically fighting against the truth because you're constantly reiterating to yourself, oh, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, I'm a nice person, I'm a nice person, but you're not. And you're an asshole. And there's a lot of assholes in the world if you haven't noticed, because I mean, I ran into a guy the other day who, he's talking about reincarnation, whatever, whatever, and I mentioned the Holy Guardian Angel, which is a whole different facet of conversation for these videos. So he asked me to explain. So I explained in a very simple, dumbed down way, as much as I could in this tiny little uh, blurb, because it's really hard to put together a concept of the Holy Guardian Angel in a matter of, short, without making a novel. It's like, okay, this is what this is. Like you pray to something, you think it's God. It's not God, it's the Holy Guardian Angel. So I said something like this. Anyways, this guy is like, oh, I do ayahuasca, I do peyote, like I'm sort of spiritual, I get it, I've connected, blah, blah, blah. Both him and his friend had to come at me and attack as if they were unable to come to my level to understand things. I asked him, he said, I challenge you to speak more eloquently. And I was like, I challenge you to pick up a fucking book. I challenge you to, instead of wanting an explanation from me, go out and find the explanation on Google or in books on occultism or, Wikipedia. And his response was, I don't find Wikipedia to be a resourceful truth. And I'm like, so you would rather fight and argue with me than actually try to, relate to me? I'm like, that's pretty fucking powerful. That says a lot, man. So I said that. And then his friend steps in. And I'm like, now you have 2 people claiming to be spiritual. And yeah, so they just attack people. Like if one is losing an argument or doesn't understand something or whatever, is being attacked by, sensibility, the other one steps in to be like, oh yeah, and I'm like, how fucking young are you? Like, seriously? Like, are you frat boys? Like, is that what age you're at? Is that what you're doing? Is you're a frat boy, so you think you're fucking. And I'm like, I don't have time for this shit. Because I got better things to do. But what I told him was the same thing I'm telling you. Own it. Be it. You are a fucking mess. Until the day you start your journey to healing, if you haven't already, and if you are, and you're still not allowing yourself to interpret what you perceive as a negative, then you're not doing it properly. Because literally the proper way of existing and moving forward is to absorb, own, own. Sorry, I'm getting hyper and excited. Own the fact that you're a mess. Some people have mentioned this before in the new age world, whatever, whatever. But here's what I'm trying to get to. The concept is, if you don't recognize the asshole, if you don't recognize that other people are literally calling you an asshole, other people are literally calling you, selfish or what have you. My twin flame used to call me bipolar because I was so emotionally fucked up when I knew him that I would be like, come close, go away, come close, go away. And he would just be like, what the fuck? But he was also a complete asshole because he was like, I'm not, this is who I am. Take me as you see me. And it's like, no, asshole. Um, I'm trying to relate to you. I'm trying to get to know you. I'm trying to talk to you. And you're being absolutely ignorant towards that. And, so now you have two people trying to make something work, and both of them are triggered. And so from my triggers, I started to learn that, oh, okay, I've got to fix this. I've got to heal this. I've got to. And what I had to heal was owning the darkness, owning being fucked up. Because being fucked up shows me where I'm going, shows me what I need to work on. But there's so many people out there, life coaches and all these, like, happy, positive fucking people. Like one dude was like, oh, here's a solution. Step over your problems. What? So you want me to continue to put my problems in the background where they basically bubble up like the volcano in Hawaii and they remain, bubbly, 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 bubbly until one day they fucking explode. Another perspective is that I know was like, oh, if you must surround yourself with friends that uplift you and do this and do that and blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. If you are surrounded by five literary geniuses on your days off, say Saturday, you guys get together for some poker or some reading or some wine or all of the above. But Monday to Friday, you're surrounded by garbage men who, because that's your job, because you're a garbage man, and it's not against garbage people. Please don't go getting upset that garbage men are, garbage men make a shitload of money. I'm just saying, you're surrounded by a blue collar world, and in the blue collar world, everyone's like, yo, bitches and hoes, fucking faggots, da 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 da, right? But on that Saturday night, it's like, oh, well, I read Shakespeare and I did this and I did that and I'm so intelligent. And did you read the latest Nobel Prize winner's paper and blah, blah, blah. So you have 3 hours of being surrounded by literary geniuses, and you have 40 hours of being surrounded by people who have no literary genius whatsoever. So when you're saying surround yourself with your friends that are great people, I'm sorry. If you're in a job situation where you're surrounded by people who are definitely not in that category and caliber, then you yourself are not in that category or caliber, no matter how much you want to pretend you are. You're faking it in your own head because you're not absorbing and understanding that, hey, wow, this is what I believe I should be, I'm equal to, right? Like my twin and I met when we were both super. I was emotionally needy. He was emotionally needy. He wanted someone to take care of him. I wanted someone to take care of. But we couldn't get there because I couldn't allow the process to just unfold. So I had to go with it. And I had to be like, okay, I'm a complete asshole. I've just fucked up the one thing in my life that should have worked out. And I had a lot of problems. And ladies and gentlemen, let's see, that was 2010. So that was almost 8 years ago. It was actually slightly later, 2012, that we stopped talking because anyways, 2012, 2013, 14. I don't know, it wasn't that long ago that we stopped talking, but it was very annoying for both of us and that sucks. But I got healthy because I accepted the fact that I'm a fucking mess. I accepted the fact that I have a lot of problems. I am emotionally my self-esteem was fucked up by my mom because my mother made me question myself over and over and over and doubt myself, and that was the point. She made me doubt myself because she always attacked what worked for me. She attacked my psychic abilities. She attacked my intuition. She attacked my thought process. She constantly undermined my thoughts so that I naturally was like, oh, maybe I'm not smart. Maybe I'm not this. Maybe I'm so. You take that and you build that into an adult, and then you put the adult like 10 years past their 20s into their 30s, and they meet the person they're in love with and that they know absolutely is the right person for them. And yet you have all these times where it just compound, compound, compound. And then what did I have to do? I had to accept that after I destroyed our friendship and ruined any chance of us ever talking again, that was on me. I mean, it's also on him too, don't get me wrong, but I owned my mess in it. I owned that I was doing too many drugs, that I was doing too much alcohol, that I was not focused, that I was constantly undermining myself. So that began my journey of what the fuck is wrong with me. And now, today, that's what I get to tell you. This is a much longer version of the story, but here is the deal. Stop trying to be positive. Stop trying to be somebody else. Stop trying at all. Don't try. Be you. Be truthful. Be real. Be the asshole that you are. Be the bitch that you are. Be the cunt that you are. Be the fuck up that you are. Because the fuck up that you are, once you start owning being that fuck up, you have control over it. So if you're sitting there in denial that, oh, I'm a good Christian and I'm a good person and I do this and I do that and blah, 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 and this person's just a fucking loser and a weirdo and blah, blah, then you're projecting onto them all of your own issues. All the shadow, all the things that you actually need to look on. Every time you judge someone else, that's where your projection is. So calling me bipolar, my twin flame, yeah, he had a lot of problems, including a major anger problem. Weird how that works, because I had the same problem. And now I'm actually starting to love and happily enjoy being myself. So, those are the two starting points where cheater role models and BMS. Because if you're a mess, you own your problems. You start to control better your emotional output, your emotional input, and what's happening to you by being a mess. If you do not control being a mess, then you are yourself lost. So, look at all the times that you don't like yourself. Look at all the things that you don't like about other people. Look at your life as it is. And then just be like, okay, I'm down. I'll make this work. And that, my friends, is the only secret you will ever need to. Oh, hi. Oh, oh, oh. And here's my baby. This is Laverne. This is my little girl. Anyways, on that note, bye, guys.